it's Max here, and today we're going to start off with a question that I get a lot on socials, which is, what should I get as my first light? In the beginning, you need one light to do it all, and we're trying to keep it affordable, so we're talking right around 200 bucks. It's important to understand the different types of lights that are out there and what you can get out of all of them. So I'm going to show you 5 different lights to choose from and which one I would pick. Starting with the point source light, or the COB light. There's a reason why most filmmakers use it to this day. First, they produce the hardest light. There's dozens of softboxes and accessories of different shapes and sizes that can be used interchangeably. This Amaran 100X, for example, has a bones mount, so you can mount hundreds of accessories to this light. I think having this light as your first light will teach you the most about lighting in general. It's the most versatile out of the lights on this list because you can diffuse it with everything from gels to paper towels. You can balance it with something like foam core that you get at Home Depot, or maybe something more expensive. You can make a hard light soft, but you can't make a soft light hard, so remember that. One downside to the point source light is that you'll rarely use it just by itself. There's always a modifier that you'll end up putting on this thing that'll probably make it a bit bigger than you bargained for. Maybe you'll need extra stands with a flag or a diffuser or gels. I mean, the list goes on, but that's what's cool about this light is it's so versatile and there's so many things you can pair up with it. Now, if you're looking for a small and easy lighting package, look no further than the soft panel light. It's a panel, so it spreads out the light more evenly than point source lights, and it's already soft. I use a panel light all the time when I'm shooting videos at my desk at home. A lot of newscasters, streamers, and journalists use these lights primarily because they're so easy to set up and travel with. They also don't need any additional modifiers, although sometimes they come with a softbox or barn doors or anything of that like. Best part about panel lights is that you can often find ones that are full color, which obviously means you can spice up your frame just like this. I hit the wrong one.
Come on, man.
And the best part about panel lights is that you can often find ones that are full color, which obviously means you can spice up your scene. Just like this. Look at that color change. We're in Miami Vice over here. So what I did here is I programmed a couple of quick shots into sidus link. So just with the touch of a button, I can completely change the look of my shot. This is our talking head shot setup, and then this is my combo with a P60C and RGB light behind that window over there, completely changing the color of the scene. Just be careful when you're buying these RGB panels online, especially on the cheaper end. You want to make sure that it's color accurate for film and video and photography, and well, how do you do that? You gotta check that CRI number that's listed with pretty much any light you buy. If it's over 95, you can absolutely trust your light, and down to 90 is pretty good. A lot of these panels come with their own accessories like barn doors and softboxes, and you can even buy them in a multi-light kit if you want to save a little bit of change. If you go with a panel, you're trading versatility for ease of use and practicality, but maybe you want something more like a tube light. You've definitely seen these lights in the back of music videos and sci-fi shorts and some of your favorite YouTubers' backgrounds as well. I can't stress how good these lights make you look right away. When you hold the tube light in front of you like this, it's so soft, it's like almost like a filter on your face. You'll have some great studio lighting on the go with just this one light, and they can add a really cool touch to your background like this. Instant visual interest. I just love the colors they give off, and I think they really add a nice touch to the background in a YouTube studio or on pretty much any set. Just like panel lights, most tubes you find out there are going to be RGB as well. These are RGB WW, so the color accuracy is going to be a bit better. If you're getting light stands for these things, you're probably going to have to get some sandbags as well, just because the weight distribution is going to be a bit one-sided. So overall, it's a little bit more finicky to work with, but you can't go wrong with the quality of light that comes right out of the package. Speaking of right out of the package, you're probably wondering, what about ring lights? I'm not the biggest fan of ring lights because they really take away all the dimension on your face because they're getting rid of all of those shadows. They're kind of a one-trick pony, and I personally don't like the eye light that they give off. I think it looks kind of almost like alien-like. If you're looking for quality and versatility, I'd probably opt for something else. And speaking of quality, let's talk a bit about flexible lights. Alright, so imagine a panel light that's wider, lighter, and basically flat. This is an F21X here, it's bicolor, and I'll kind of show you what that means right now, because we were talking about color temperature earlier. So we're talking about bicolor, I'm inside this link. This thing can go from 2500 Kelvin to 7500 Kelvin, and you can even go somewhere in the middle like this, or back to daylight. Now, these flexible lights They're super versatile. They'll most likely come with a bracket to attach to a traditional light stand like you've seen before, like those baby stands, or even a C-stand too if you want. I've taped these things to walls because they're so flat. I've taped them overhead as a nice key. This light can go pretty much anywhere. It's not every day that you're gonna have to tape a light to a wall or hide it in a corner or slap it right overhead in a shallow room or a car. So with this light, you're having to deal with a slightly longer setup process and potentially getting a heavy duty stand for this thing. There's one more light I want to add to the list, and it's pretty budget friendly. We're talking about a light bulb. This is a 200-watt light bulb just from a hardware store. Honestly, if you think about it, this is quite literally most people's first light, but why did this make the list? Because once you learn how to control and soften the light that comes from a light bulb, then you're going to truly understand how to light almost any scene, how to bounce light anywhere, color, temperatures, you name it. You'll understand it all, I promise you. Now, everything that you can get to modify a light bulb like this comes from Home Depot or Lowe's. We're talking about a can light reflector, maybe a dimmer so you can dim the light.
Dim the light. Oh, dang, that's bright.
And then maybe even a lantern so you can have some nice soft studio light. I've seen a lot of YouTubers use this. Specifically, I remember seeing Casey Neistat use a lantern in his overhead rig with just a couple of daylight bulbs. You're probably asking yourself though, how do you make a light bulb like this soft? That's where bounces come in. If you need this light bulb to be softer, you just bounce it and use a little foam core like this. You also might ask, well, how do I control the light a little bit more? Maybe shape it a little bit. You could use some trash bags, you could use some black wrap, you could use some gaff tape, and all of this stuff is pretty cheap, except for the black wrap, so maybe opt for the gaff tape. Again, these things are super cheap and they're pretty versatile. They're about $10 to $20 each, and if you want to get all those things I talked about to modify it, you'll probably be looking at around 50 bucks. One thing I forgot to mention is you can clamp these things onto light stands or onto chairs or hang them. They're pretty versatile in that sense too, and you can also hang them off of a C-stand too when you're using those lanterns, for example. Personally, if I could go back into the beginning of my video career, I'd go with something like this 100D or a 200D. Now, there are always different tools for different jobs, but this is where I would start. Let me know your pick down in the comments, and if you had any other questions you'd like answered in another video, let me know. If you like this video, make sure to check out our content backpack video over here, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.